Well, I think you said nicely about the problem solving, right? And what the exact core focus has to be in the entire COVID-19 environment. I think the first stuff is the core focus and has to be about the people, because it is people who do their problem solving. And and any pharma company or any healthcare company has a very diverse set of people, right? So you have your customers, employees, patient, HCPs, partners, stakeholders, supply chain, and those are the key things. So where would you do the problem solve? First of all, to solve the problem, you first have to understand what the problem is. And how would you understand the problem? You would understand the problem if you can find some early warning signals. These early warning signals are everywhere. I think today a lot of panelists will talk and discuss more about it. But it is all about how do we act upon them. Like one of the things I want to mention about is something called time spent on ethical scientific education in this COVID-19 times. Because we all can expect a massive face-to-face reduction in the physical engagement with the physicians. But how can pharma company and healthcare company ensure that that does not reduce the amount of ethical scientific education that we all do? Digital, of course, will play a huge role in problem solving because you have to give personalized, timely response to physicians, to the healthcare practitioners. You also have to enable peer-to-peer education. You also have to continue your CMEs. One of the key things you also have to look as early warning signal is because of COVID-19, the scientific collaboration should also not decrease because a lot of scientists and employees are working from home. And me being in a digital part, let me throw some digital angle to it. Is that do you have all the pharma companies in different parts, and they are very small to large enterprise? Do they have the right permission of these softwares for their scientists to kind of work remotely? What kind of licenses it kind of support? I think another key thing is how do you solve the problems in terms of patient engagement, especially when you're going for a clinical trial, when you're engaging people for the trial, how you are retentioning them, how the medical adherence is kind of going as well. And a few more things I would say, which sticks in my mind, is training. I think, because everybody is remote, this training was never planned to a lot of people. A lot of people are not millennials. A lot of people are not used to computers the same way you and I are. For a lot of people, Zoom would be the first time to be in this pandemic, maybe sometime in March or February or April. So how do we make sure a sales team, a Salesforce team, everybody is understanding about the training? And I think few things we have to look, and this is so important because in any typical pharma project, right from medical, legal, regulatory, to supply chain, to marketing, design, customer experience, there's so many stakeholders around it. So it's very, very important on how do we look at that. And a final thing I would say is, how do you solve problem by automation? There are a lot of things we just keep on doing every time, which now simply can be solved by automation. So we can increase our productivity. Look, when this pandemic struck, nobody thought that we would be going to Zoom calls, doing all this, and basically there are tons of other things that we're doing right now. How can we solve all those things by automation is, I think, a very, 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 very key part. And I would end that note is, this is the time that we all have to recalibrate, we have to reprioritize, and we have to realign on what our problems are and how can we solve for it. So we don't focus on symptoms, but we really focus on the end problems.